Hello my friends and welcome back. It's Friday. It's not Friday, it's Thursday. I'm living in Friday already, I'm waiting for it because on Saturday it's my bachelor's party. Really, I'm getting married in 2 weeks. I haven't told you. So in 2 days on Saturday actually it is my bachelor's party, or the party you have before marriage, you know, with your friends. So yeah, wish me luck. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a complete surprise. But I'll show you some snippets of the party and I'll show you some snippets of the wedding also when it comes. I'm not gonna publish the date yet. But happy Thursday to you too, my friends. We begin today with great news because another Russian oil refinery found its end. It's knocked out cold. An interesting fact about this one is that it actually had a cope cage. Yes, you heard correctly. An oil refinery had a cope cage. This refinery was Novoshakhtinsky oil refinery in the Rostov region of Russia. It was attacked by Ukrainian kamikaze drones. A distillation tower at an oil refinery was hit, as well as other targets at the refinery. The capacity of this This oil refinery refines 5 million tons per year. So it's a big loss for Russia. But my friends, look at this. It's the distillation tower, and this is what Russia has been doing to oil refineries bordering Ukraine, in the oblasts bordering Ukraine. They have been installing these anti-drone wiring on top of it. Pretty much a cope cage for an oil refinery. So since these oil refineries are such a juicy target and Russia cannot spare any air defenses to defend them because they're all needed on the front, they just install these metal wires under pressure from top to bottom so no drone could fly through. The issue with it is that oil refineries, almost anything inside that area is extremely flammable because it's tubing and wiring and tanks filled with pretty much explosives. Not with explosives, but with explosive burning material, oil or refined oil products. Such is the case with this tower also. Even if you cannot get through the cope cage, if any shrapnel goes inside that tower and makes a spark, there's kaboom, bada bim, bada boom. It's beautiful. And this is what happens, as you can see from the videos. Actually, on the video you can see that cope cage. Didn't really make a difference, did it? Look at it, it's like a burning triangle. Makes it even prettier. My friends, now we will watch a video, don't worry, it's not long, it's 1 minute, about an expert on Russian economy, Igor Liptsits. Now, this video is not about explosions or not about something exciting, but it gives us a real insight, the truth of how Russian economy is doing. Because many people who are victim of Russian propaganda think that Putin has some kind of a trump card, a secret ace up his sleeve. He doesn't. He is screwed. The Russian economy is screwed. And this video explains it pretty well. I'm observing a stunning picture of the suicide of the Russian economy. It's scary, but mesmerizing picture. Watching it is horrifyingly interesting. All my colleagues in economics understand that we happen to live in an amazing historical period when a great country is killing itself. Watching it is scary, but terribly fascinating. Is it a reversible process? At this point, probably not. One more time, a country is first of all its people. When it comes to people, there's a total deficit in Russia because Russia is losing its population. Now, this is the first myth that people like to project on Russia because they project the Soviet might on Russia, that Russia has an endless pool of human resources. They really don't. Human resources are only as valuable as their skill and education. Russian human resources don't really have skill or education when compared to the West. Also, when you just take their population that can be mobilized, they also don't make really good soldiers, because a soldier is only as good as the society it comes from. It brings with himself the patterns that he lives in civilian life, and if that's alcoholism, drugs and lawlessness, then that's what he brings into the army, and that makes up the whole image of that army and the discipline of that army. And discipline is one of the most important things about the cohesion of the army and the effectiveness of it. This is what Russian army is lacking, and most of all they're lacking the idea for what they are fighting. There is no idea, there is nothing. So people who are saying that, oh, Russia has a population so vast that Ukraine has no chance, it's a myth. Russia has, like Ukraine, a manpower shortage. Also, although a lot less than Ukraine, but they don't have the Soviet Union's manpower. They don't have Stalin's terror processes when they can just put hundreds of thousands of people into trains and drive them to the front. That's not Russia nowadays. They're also relying mostly on volunteers, which is failing. Then they're relying on mercenaries from Africa. If that fails, they have to mobilize, and the mobilization is definitely not popular. And the brightest minds and the richest left Russia when the mobilization started in 2022 fall. About 1 million men left Russia. The brightest, the most educated, that is the value of an economy. That is the human resources that actually generate money. Russia is losing its population. What human resources do I need to boost the economy? To boost the economy, I need people, money, and international cooperation. Now again, many people might think that, okay, if you become a pariah state, you connect yourself only with China, not to any Western powers, perhaps India or some third world countries, the global south. That is not going to do it. Money flows through the West, economic might flows through the West, and the West is the biggest customer of all economy and all money, all trading in the world. The West is the biggest customer and the center of it. If you disconnect yourself from the West, your economy dies. That's how simple it is. Nobody in the world ever accomplished that without international cooperation. Not a single country with close borders can do it. It can only become a North Korea that produces missiles. That's all it can become. Yes, and I do agree, if you close your borders and you're very much connected to China to survive, which Russia is moving into, they're moving into that state of becoming a fully pariah state, only surviving because of China. Because no other country in the world who has economic power wants to work with them. And that's North Korea pretty much. Without China, North Korea would cease to exist. That's how simple it is. North Korea is China's attack dog. They need food. They would starve without China. And Russia is moving into that. Chinese companies are taking over businesses in Russia. So the economy goes into trash. And I know many people feel it's very repetitive. Oh, you're again saying that Russian economy will fall. They haven't. They have actually risen. It takes time, my friends. Patience. These things take years, if not a decade. Soviet Union was not brought down with 1 or 2 years. It took 10 years. And then the biggest country in the world collapsed. Now, my friends, I want to show you something. I've created a whole new clothing brand, Rehi clothing line, and a portion of the proceeds will go to Ukraine because, I'm delivering trucks and drones every 2 months to Kyiv. So I will take from the proceeds pool of this Rehi clothing brand and we will buy trucks. Of course, I'll film and photograph everything for you. So pick yourself a nice design, a hat, a mug, a hoodie, or with love from Ukraine t-shirt, for example. I'll show you this one. It's people's favorite. With love from Ukraine, with a Baba Yaga that we have given to the armed forces of Ukraine, dropping a nade or a bomb or a mortar shell on a Russian T-72. It's an ageless design. Go and treat yourself. Rehistore.com. My friends, a quick, nice update for you. These patches for the previous campaign that you donated, they're all sent out now. So you should receive yours with no more than a week. Of course, it took us a month and a half to send them, but they're all sent out. And now we're launching new campaigns. You cannot buy this. You can only get this by donating to Rehi campaigns. Thank you for donating and enjoy your patch, my friends. My friends, have you ever seen Putin angry? Many people might expect that, oh, I've never seen, buddy, when he gets angry, you gotta fear him. Putin really doesn't show any emotion ever. He's very closed, he's very huge filters on him. But in this video, he is angry. If you know him and his mannerisms, this is angry Putin. This is as far as it gets. You can see his anger through his actions, not through how he speaks. But I'll show you the video. And believe me, he's very angry in this one. Don't concoct anything and don't form opinions about Russia based on these fictions. There is no need to create an image of Russia as an enemy. You're only making things worse for yourself. Do you understand this? You have come up with the idea that Russia wants to attack NATO. Have you completely lost your minds? Are you as dumb as the table? It's like boom, 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 boom. Are you as dumb as the table? This is angry Putin if you've ever seen one. Who came up with that? It's nonsense and bullshit. Putin doesn't really use wording like that. He's completely mad. And I just want to point out how different his anger looks to the anger that we're used to seeing in human behavior. Anger is like, nothing like that. It's all internalized. And then slowly it will translate to externalized actions and it will poison his mind. This is a weird one, this one. It would have been nonsense if it weren't invented to fool your own population. I won't even comment about what he's saying, it's complete bogus. Saying, oh help, Russia will attack us soon and we have to arm immediately. We need to immediately send weapons to Ukraine. In reality, why is it being done? To hold onto your own imperialistic positions of greatness. That's why it's being done. Wow, Putin, wow, the master of mirroring what he himself is doing. Look at that angry little man, unable to change his situation. Well, talking about his emotions, he's also very paranoid, and more so now, because the war in Russia is becoming very slowly, more unpopular, especially when the mobilization is closing in. And Putin has started to wear a bulletproof vest, because he's, like most Russian leaders, very paranoid about his life. Stalin was extremely paranoid. So much so, there's no one worse than him. But Putin might be on the same level. Now he wears a bulletproof vest on public events, as you have seen. Now, I don't want to say that it's something bad. I mean, leaders who have threats to their life should wear a bulletproof vest and should have security. I'm not like bashing that this is something you shouldn't do. Even Western leaders, yeah, if they want to wear it, wear it. What it shows to us in the authoritarian system of Russia, though, means that Putin does not trust his security as much as he did before, which signals to us that some shift of power is happening in Russia, because Putin's security, it's not only country's leader security, it's connected to the bigger picture of internal security forces of Russia. And if Putin doesn't trust that, that signals also something else, some shift of power, some shift of trust, some shift of loyalties, which is very important for Putin. So this bulletproof vest here, which we have seen for the first time on Putin's body, is much more than you would think. Signals that change in the Russian leadership. Now, my friends, to open up a Russian mindset, they are completely clueless. This is a Russian girl in Mexico, and she is slowly beginning to understand that the world doesn't actually like Russians. Nobody really does. I mean, there are very good Russians in Estonia, also in Germany. There are good Russians, of course, but not those who believe in Putin, who share his imperialistic mindset and who share his blamelessness and I can do what I want because I'm Russian, я русский, я делаю что хочу. It's this chauvinism who share that mindset, and this girl is very slowly starting to get it. I don't understand anything. I just asked him to make me English. He looked at me and asked, Russo? Honestly, I'm so sick of this story with Russo. Mexicans just hate us. We go here because we need to get to the United States, but they hate Russians here. Russians here hate Russians. Mexicans hate Russians. Everyone hates Russians. I just can't stand it anymore because our real nationality is strong. Well, here is the issue. This girl needs her eyes open. We are very patient, but I don't get why our passports are not as strong as Brazilian or Mexican passports, for example. Why do they degrade them? Why does everyone hate us so much? Why does everyone hate Russians so bad? These are very great questions. I'm not going to even answer them. I'm going to leave the answer in the air, just for the dramatic effect of it. I get that we might be too emotional or sincere, but we never do aggressive things. Oh, poor girl. Such as pulling out a knife or shooting. It could be like that in the 90s. Pulling out a knife or shooting is what I imagine, like mediocre Siberian Russian city. That's what's happening on the street there in the dark corners of it. But why does everyone have such an opinion about us? It just humiliates me. We lived in Brazil for half a year. My whole family is in Russia. I understand I want a calmer environment where people are more tolerant because everyone is very angry in Russia. But that's exactly how the whole world sees us. Everyone is very angry in Russia. That is true. Russians are very, right now in Russia, it's not always like that, and it's not all Russian people, but right now the state is creating so much internal pressure in the people, and there's so much they cannot talk about. It bottles up, makes you drink. If you drink, it won't explode out. If it explodes out, you're going to do some bad stuff. A lot of videos when men beat up their wives and soldiers come back to the civilian life and shoot somebody or knife somebody. Everyone is really angry in Russia right now. That is the underlying truth. And that sentence says a lot about the country also. They just think that we're some kind of white monkeys. You're nobody if you have a Russian passport. Oh no, I can't take it anymore. I'm so tired of this. Oh no. But you know what? The darkest moment of your life, the lowest point of your life, when you are alone and nobody is helping you, that is the point where everything falls away, and that is the point you can start growing. The phoenix rises from the ashes, not before everything turns into ashes. It has to burn to the ground. You have to mentally go there, you have to lose everything, and then you start questioning your life, your country, and your views. And when this girl, perhaps through this pain, might start questioning her views about her great Russian nationality, questioning brings great results. You throw away the old and you accept only what is actually necessary. And most of what being a Russian is nowadays is not necessary. If she gets there, I'm glad. If she doesn't, well, more pain can happen. Pain is always good, teaches you something. That was too deep. Now, my friends, I want to give you something to laugh at, because a lot of deep stuff during the day, it gets tiring. So, this is real, it's not a meme. Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, was awarded the Order of the Stallion during his visit to Burkina Faso. Look at this dude. This dude, possibly I don't know who he is, sorry, but he's one of the officials of Burkina Faso, and he's meeting with the Russian foreign minister, wearing tactical gloves. What, is he going to punch him in the face? I mean, I would love to see that, but this is a meeting between two officials, diplomats or politicians. Look at this dude. Damn. And next time he will be awarded saddle and bridle. Now, my friends, I want to read you a story of the Russian 9th Motorized Rifle Regiment. It happened very recently, and the commander of that regiment is speaking out. So it's the truth coming from a Russian commander. Regarding the defeat of the units of the Motorized Rifle Regiment, 1009th, I cannot yet disclose the details, but believe me, we will return again to the mistakes of the command, which did not take into account the changed realities of recent days. For now, what remains of the 1009th will be replaced by 2 bats from the 30th Regiment and 72 divisions of the 44th Army Corps. Fortunately, we didn't have any major failures, but we lost people and equipment. I think the fighters who will replace the Benza fighters will cope with the task. In general, the last few days have become difficult. Don't read the winning reports. And yes, for optimism, we also have put on a video with the successful work of our guys, but this is only a small drop of everything that is happening here. There is a hard struggle for the forester's hut, and those advances of 300 meters in the morning may end in retreat of 500 meters in the evening. Now, this sentence, I think, describes more accurately what's going on in the heaviest fighting areas. Back and forth, positions change hands. It's not static, it's moving all the time. 2 houses on the same street may find themselves under the control of one or the other, and as a result they simply disappear. And this happening is very killing, not only physically but also mentally. It's hard to be a commander. I don't mean those with large shoulder straps, but at the level of platoons, companies and battalions. In the 9th Motorized Rifle Regiment of the 18th Division, the guys at the front faltered. They simply refused to carry out the order. This won't end well for them. This is where they are right now. Now, my friends, I want to talk about Mike Johnson. Yeah, I know, before you click away, hey, I'm Estonian. I don't know nothing about United States internal politics, and I don't claim to know. If I make any mistakes, and if you want to educate me on the matter, put a comment, I'll read it. This is how I get smart. But recently Mike Johnson has changed his tone towards Ukraine. I'll read you the recent news. Mike Johnson believes that the current authorizations for armed forces of Ukraine to use United States weapons from the Biden administration are not enough. So the authorizations are not enough. According to Johnson, Washington should stop micromanaging the war effort in Ukraine. And Johnson himself plans to raise the issue in a conversation with Biden administration. I have already spoken about it, and I will speak again. We will have the conversation with the White House about this, said Johnson. I don't know what to make of this. What do you make of this? This sounds increasingly positive towards Ukraine, which I'm not used to when looking at what Johnson is doing or saying. But if he's positive towards Ukraine, I welcome it, because that means being positive towards Estonia, my country, and I'm a patriot. So I need it. Now, my friends, my favorite part of the video, 2 more times this week and right before my bachelor's party. This is my bachelor's gift, butchering the Buy Me a Coffee members. Sivans, David Fulp, J.M., William Federlein, Carles Neel, Jochen Servei, Kate, Jürgen Sandberg. That's it. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for these 10 people. And if you like my channel, you know which links to click. Until my next video, my friends, which will be tomorrow, so be back. Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye.